In this video, we are going to find out area required for evaporator and steam required for the evaporator. So our aim is to find out the flow rate of steam supplied and area of heat exchanger for the necessary conversion of weak liquor into thick liquor. So here I just read this first problem, what important things given in the question and what important things we have to find out. So first, a single effect evaporator is required to concentrate a weak liquor a solution from 10% solid to 30% solid. So here important thing that initial concentration of solid is 10%. Initial concentration of solid is 10%. That means XSW. That means our XSW, that value will be 0.1. 10% concentration of solute means fraction of solute zero point 0.1, and that concentration of solids is increased from 10% to 30%. So this 30%, that is the final concentration, that is, so fraction of solids in thick liquor, that will be zero point 0.3, that will be zero point 0.3. So 10% solid means fraction of solute in weak liquor 0.1, and that concentration is increased from 10% to 30%. So this 30% is nothing but fraction of solute in thick liquor, that will be 0.3. So this is in percentage, we want fractional value, so we get 0.3 percentage divided by 100. Okay, and this flow rate of solids is at rate of 250 kg per hour. So this 250 kg per hour, that will be the flow rate of solids input. So here input flow rate of weak liquor, we can say that input flow rate of weak liquor is 250. So our symbol, with respect to our symbol, here you have this MW, that mass flow rate of weak liquor is 250 kg per hour. Okay, so what things are given, just I am writing this value with respect to our symbols. If the pressure in the evaporator is 77 kilopascal, that means inside evaporator the pressure is 77 kilopascal absolute, and steam pressure is given, steam pressure is 200 kilopascal, gauge is there. Please note that here gauge is written, here absolute written. We want absolute pressure of steam, so absolute pressure of steam will be this 200 kilopascal gauge plus atmospheric pressure 100 kilopascal, so that will become 300 kilopascal absolute. Our aim is to calculate quantity of steam required per hour. Our aim is to calculate steam required per hour and area of heat transfer surface. For this purpose, they have given overall heat transfer coefficient, and that overall heat transfer coefficient is 1700. Please note that this unit is joule per meter square per degree Celsius per second. So per second per degree Celsius per meter square, that U is given. Okay, and the temperature of feed is given, that means initial temperature of feed is given, it is given 18 degrees Celsius. So this 18 degrees Celsius, that will be our TW, that means temperature of weak liquor or inlet temperature of weak liquor, that will be TW, that is given 18 degrees Celsius. The boiling point of solution under pressure of 77 kilopascal absolute is 91 degrees Celsius. So they have given in that temperature in the evaporator is 91 degrees Celsius. Temperature in evaporator 91 degrees Celsius. So this will be our T value. So temperature of evaporator 91 degrees Celsius. The specific heat capacity of solution is same as for water. So this will be value of our CW, that means heat capacity of water, and same value we are going to use in case of condensate cooling also. So for condensate we have this heat capacity value Cw. Similarly for our weak liquor we are going to take this Cw value as 4.186 into 10 raised to 3 is there. You please note that this is 10 raised to 3. 10 to power 3 is there. 10 to power 3 joule per kg per degree Celsius. And they are given the latent heat of vaporization of solution is same as that of the water under same condition. That means latent heat of vaporization value also they are given. Okay, so latent heat of vaporization of solvent they have given, this is 2281 kilojoule per kg, and this will be your value of lambda v. This will be value of our lambda v, latent heat of vaporization. While this with respect to steam pressure 200 kilopascal gauge, that is nothing but 300 kilopascal absolute. For this pressure we have this temperature 134. This value is directly they are given. Okay, otherwise we have to use steam table, and by interpolation method you have to find out this value 134 degrees Celsius with respect to this 300 kilopascal absolute pressure. If in steam table this 300 kilopascal absolute value is there, then directly you will get this 134. If this 300 kilopascal not there, then we have to use interpolation method, which I have already explained you in previous lecture. And latent heat of steam for this temperature or at this temperature, so at temperature 134 degrees Celsius or at pressure 300 kilopascal absolute, latent heat of steam means lambda s, latent heat of steam is 2164 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so these values given, and our aim is to find out quantity of steam. Our aim is to find out quantity of steam and heat transfer surface area required for the evaporator. Heat transfer area required for the evaporator. Okay, so now I solve this problem. First we'll go for the figure, and then we'll go for the actual calculation of this particular. Okay, so just I draw figure and we'll put this value. Okay, so I first draw this figure. So here is our evaporator. Here is our evaporator. Steam coming here. Steam inlet to the evaporator. So steam inlet and its flow rate is ms. Okay, its temperature is given luckily to us, so that temperature is 134 degrees Celsius. Okay, and latent heat of steam also given to us, that is lambda s, and this value is given to us, that is how much? That is 2164 kilojoule per kg. You get this value from steam table. Okay, lambda s 2164 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Then input here steam ms and lambda s value given. Now next another input quantity, that is weak liquor. So this flow rate of weak liquor they have given, that is 250 kg per hour. That flow rate is given 250 kg per hour. Then this weak liquor temperature given to us, that is 18 degrees Celsius, and this weak liquor contain fraction of solute in weak liquor, that is 10%, so that value is 0.1. So this is given to you. Now this weak liquor that come in contact with indirectly with this steam, heat transfer takes place, and some part of this weak liquor that gets vaporized. Some part of this weak liquor that gets vaporized, that flow rate is mv, while remaining part which you get as thick liquor, that part is mt. We have to find out this value of mt and mv. But about this thick liquor, we know the percentage of solutes is 30%. That means fraction of solute in thick liquor is 0.3. 30% solute means fraction of solute in thick liquor will be 0.3. Okay, so this value is given to us. So same thing, just I have written in terms of fraction. In terms of fraction I have written this. Okay, and inside evaporator this temperature is given. Inside evaporator temperature is given. This temperature is 91 degrees Celsius. This temperature 91 degrees Celsius. So here outlet temperature of steam also they have given. That condensate outlet temperature, we know that this is 91 degrees Celsius. 91 degrees Celsius. Okay, so here inside evaporator temperature is 91 degrees Celsius. That means steam inlet temperature 134 degrees Celsius. So steam will give heat, that is latent heat. At the same time, the steam temperature, that is condensate temperature, decreases from 134 to 91. So that heat also we have to consider. Similarly, about weak liquor inlet temperature given 18 degrees Celsius. So when that weak liquor entered in the evaporator, its temperature first increases from 18 degrees Celsius to 91 degrees Celsius. And then at 91 degrees Celsius, some part of this solvent that gets vaporized, that is mv. Some part gets vaporized, that is mv. So step by step we will solve this. I will explain you. So first, now you concentrate all these equations. Some of these equations already I have given last time in the design of evaporator. So just I put these values. We will use this and solve this problem. Okay, so step by step we will go for this. So first we go for material balance of weak liquor. Material balance of weak liquor. Material balance of weak liquor. So what is material balance? So we have this equation, total material balance equation. That total material balance equation what? That mw is equal to mv plus mt. This equation already we know that weak liquor quantity will be the amount of flow rate of water vaporized plus flow rate of thick liquor developed or generated during this particular evaporation operation. Then you go for component material balance of solute. Component material balance of solute. So solute in weak liquor will be mw into x SW, mxSW, and that is equal to mt into x st, where mw means mass flow rate of weak liquor, mt means mass flow rate of thick liquor, xSW means mass flow rate fraction of solute in weak liquor, xSW means fraction of solute in weak liquor, and xst means fraction of solute in thick liquor. Okay, so now we'll solve this equation. So I just put this value of mw is 250 into 0.1, that is equal to mass flow rate of thick liquor into 0.3. Okay, so when I find out this value of mt from with this equation, I get here 250 into 0.1 divided by 0.3. So I get value 83 83. I get value 83 and that unit will be kg per hour. Okay, so I just take round figure 83 kg per hour. Okay, now this 83 kg per hour I substitute in this equation, and when I substitute this value of 83 in this equation, I know this value of 250 of MW, so I substitute this value here. From this I get mass flow rate of vapor. Mass flow rate of vapor as 250 minus 83, that is equal to 167 kg per hour. Okay, so I get value of mass flow rate of vapor 167 kg per hour. I know the value of MW 250 kg per hour. Okay, and from this equation I get mass flow rate of thick liquor 83 kg per hour. So I substitute this value in this equation and I get this particular value of MV. I get this particular value of MV. Okay, so now we'll see that what things given here, and we will use this in the calculation. You will use this in this calculation. Okay, so we know the value of MW here. So we know the value of MW. MW is 250 kg per hour. We know the value of XSW, that is 0.1. We know the value of XST, that is 0.3. Okay, and just we have calculated value of MT, that is 83 kg per hour. We also calculate value of MV just now, that is 167 kg per hour. So just I am writing the things which we have calculated and which things given to us. Okay, so this data is related to weak liquor and thick liquor and MV. Now coming to steam side we know that pressure of steam we know that pressure of steam is 200 kilopascal gauge, but we want absolute pressure, so therefore in this 2 kilopascal gauge we add 100 kilopascal as atmospheric pressure, and you get absolute pressure 300 kilopascal absolute. And for this PS pressure you have the temperature of steam 134 degrees Celsius, and its latent heat lambda S, that is 2164 kilojoule per kg. This value is required to us. Okay, and we also know that its condensate heat capacity is, they have given in this problem that is given to 1, that is given here, condensed heat capacity, that is 1, how much it is, condensate heat capacity, that is given here 4.186. just you see, think about this value, 4.186 into 10 raised to 3 we have to take that. So that condensate heat capacity 4.186 into 10 raised to 3 joule per kg per degree Celsius. That means when 1 kg of condensate, its temperature changes by 1 degree Celsius, at that time heat release is this much joule, 4.186 into 10 raised to 3. Okay, so you please note that some values in kilojoule, this value in joule. So when we are using this, we have uniformity of unity. You must have uniformity of unity. Okay, so this particular data concerned to the steam. Now we'll go for the data concerned to the latent heat of vaporization, all that. So now here they have given in the condenser pressure is PV, in the operator the pressure is 77 kilopascal absolute in the evaporator, and for this 77 kilopascal absolute pressure, here correspond temperature in evaporator is 91 degrees Celsius, and at this 91 degrees Celsius latent heat of water vaporization, that is 2281 kilojoule per kg. This value is given to us, otherwise we have to use our steam table. From this you will get this value, latent heat of vaporization with respect to temperature 91 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is given to us. They have given initial temperature of inlet temperature of weak liquor TW, that inlet temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, and temperature in the evaporator is 91 degrees Celsius. Okay, so these values given to us. Now we will use our heat balance equation or energy balance equation of evaporator. So energy balance equation of evaporator, energy balance equation of evaporator. What is that energy balance equation of evaporator? That heat given by steam, or rate of heat addition by steam to the process, that is equal to rate of heat absorption by weak liquor So heat is given by the steam, therefore rate of heat given by steam addition, or you can use this given by steam, that is equal to rate of heat absorption by weak liquor. So we have these formulas already. Last time I have derived this formula. I explain you this, that ms lambda s, because steam gives its latent heat and also its decreasing temperature heat, that is called sensible heat. So this is mc, then cc, heat capacity, and its temperature decreases from Ts minus T. So temperature of condenser. So when latent heat is given, steam gets condensed, and then condensate temperature is decreased from Ts to T. That is equal to, and this ms and mc is same. So you can write down here instead of mc as ms, because all mass flow rate of steam that gets converted into condensate flow rate. So I write here mw we know, then heat capacity of that is given 4.18718 into 10 raised to 3, that we know that's value. Then its temperature increases Tw to T, so T minus Tw we have to take down here, plus mv into lambda v. So what things given here, you please note that this much energy required here to increase temperature of weak liquor Tw to condensate temperature, and then at condenser temperature, then at evaporator's temperature, then at evaporator temperature, here this amount of vapor gets converted to liquid to vapor, liquids to convert, then this much amount of vapor converted to liquid to vapor, this much amount of vapor generated here from the solvent section. So we have this equation. Now in this equation, what is given? Lambda s given, heat capacity of condensate, that is given, specific heat capacity, we know this value. Then we have to take same value for heat capacity of condensate and heat capacity of weaker liquor also. mw we know, CW nothing but this 4.187 into 10 raised to this value 4.186 into 10 raised to 3. This will be CC hour, and same will be our CW value same. So this is the specific heat capacity of water. So we are taking for CC, that means condensate also, and for weak liquor same value we have to consider here. Okay, so this value is given, T given, TW given, and MV we have calculated. So you just substitute these values here. MS, lambda S substitute, CC substitute, TS, all this we have to substitute, and then we have to calculate value of MS. Okay, so I just again simplify this. So I write here MS. The value of lambda S is known. It is how much? 2164. Its unit is, please note that its unit is kilojoule per kg. Okay, plus, so I just take here bracket, plus, same we have to take MS into, okay, so this value is given 4.186 into 10 raised to 3. Okay, this 10 raised to 3 is in joule. We want here kilojoule, therefore I divide it by 1000. Okay, and so that you will get now its unit also kilojoule per kg. Actually this value they have given joule, but we want in kilojoule, therefore I am dividing by the 1000. Okay, and per degree Celsius. Okay, into temperature difference. How much temperature difference? 134 minus T means minus 91. Okay, so like this, here we get here this unit will be degree Celsius. Okay, so this is related to this MS 4.18 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 1000 I am taking, because I want in kilojoule. Therefore, and here 134 minus 91 value, and this is equal to MW is 250. Same thing for CW also we have to take here 4.186 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 1000. We need to convert kilojoule to convert for joule to kilojoule into, now here temperature T minus TW means 91 minus 18. Okay, plus we have to add here, so I just take here bracket, it is equal to, plus I have to add in this vapor flow rate. We know this vapor flow rate is 167, that unit is kg per hour, into lambda V. How much it is? Please check this lambda by V value. It is 2281, and the unit is kilojoule per kg. Okay, so here we know these values, all these values, and from this we get this value. 4.57 into 10 raised to 5 kilojoule per hour. You please operate calculator. This kg gets cancelled. Here unit is kg per hour. So this kg gets cancelled. Degree Celsius and this degree Celsius gets cancelled. So kilojoule per hour you will get unit. Here also this kg gets cancelled. You get kilojoule per hour. Okay, so we get this. So here unknown quantity only MS. Here only MS. So when you solve this, you will get value of MS. That is equal to 194 kg per hour. You please operate calculator and find out this value. Just check, are you getting this value 195 kg per hour? Okay. Once you get this value, mass flow rate of steam 195, then now we will use design equation of evaporator. And what is design equation of evaporator? That Q, that is rate of heat transfer, that is equal to U A delta T. Okay, U A delta T. Now here important thing is that rate of heat transfer is this much value, rate of heat transfer is this much. So okay, so I just write down this value, rate of heat transfer 4.57 into 10 raised to 5 unit kilojoule per hour. Okay, unit very important. That is equal to, value of U is given, that's 1700, and its unit is joule per meter square per second and per degree Celsius into A into delta T. Delta T means how much? Ts minus T we have to take. Okay. Now you please note that here it is in kilojoule, here it is in kilojoule, here it is in joule. So we have to convert this kilojoule to joule. Similarly, here time is in second and here time in hours. So we have to convert this hours to second. So here we have to convert kilojoule to joule and hours to second. Therefore I write here, please concentrate. What I am writing? 4.57 into 10 raised to 5 into 10 raised to 3. So when I multiply by 10 raised to 3, that becomes joule. Similarly, instead of hour I am writing now in seconds, so that is 3600 second. Because 1 hour is equal to how many seconds? 3600 second. So I get here joule per second. Okay. So now unit matching here. So 1700 joule per meter square per second per degree Celsius into area. So you will get area unit will be meter square into this Ts minus T. Ts minus T. Value of Ts is how much? Value of Ts is 134 and value of T is 91, and therefore we get this temperature difference. We get this temperature difference 43 degrees Celsius. So you please just check that degree Celsius gets cancelled. Meter square will get cancelled. So here you will get joule second. Similarly here we have the unit joule per second. So this dimension stability or consistency units very important. So here we know these all values, unknown only area, and so when you solve this you get area that is equal to 1.74 meter square. You get area 1.74 meter square. In this way you have to solve this problem. First think what is given, then step by step calculate unknown thing, and just substitute this all equation in energy balance equation of evaporator. Energy balance equation of evaporator, and solve this value If required, again you just go through this video and think about in dimension stability, go for step by step calculation and solve the problem.